All right, well, it's 4 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and say hello to everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody's had a great week. We've had a lot of interest with this call. We're going to take you on a whirlwind tour through the Auberge properties today, and we're so happy to have Gale McClurkan and Stephen Patton with us, who are going to be our hosts with the most today. Just a quick reminder to those of you who may not have been joining us. We'd love for you to keep yourselves muted for most of the call unless you're giving us a question. If you do have any questions, you're free to type those into the chat box, and I'll be glad to moderate those for everyone. That's about it. We're going to turn it over to Carol now.
Wow, Chelsea Gilbert. Okay, well, before I introduce our host today, I just want everyone who did dress up to say hello so that you come on the screen and everyone can enjoy you. So say hi. And Whitney, Carol Knoll is trying to get in. I just got a text from her. I'm not quite sure how that text.
I think Nicole wins.
Huh?
I think Nicole wins.
Nicole wins.
Nicole, right. Great.
Okay, let's have you guys introduce yourselves if you have not said hi already and you did dress up, so that our judges and the rest of us can enjoy your outfits, and also take a selfie and send it to me because we want to show our love for you on our website. Okay, I see Corinne and Chelsea. Say hello.
Hi, guys. That's my champagne.
Love it.
Who's this up here? Nicole. Oh my goodness, you guys look great. Nicole, say hi.
Hello. Actually, today my name is Holly Golightly because I absolutely have no idea what you're talking about.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. And who else did I see? Oh, Chelsea, I'd say hi again. You are looking good today, girl.
Hi.
Hi.
No pictures, please.
Look at you. Oh my God. Oh, and you've got your jet behind you.
Yes.
That's
oh my God.
Really? Okay.
That's really good.
I'm liking that. Too bad I'm not the judge. Who else we got today? Paula?
Hey, Carol.
Oh my gosh, look at you. Oh, you're dripping, my love. Listen.
I'm dripping.
Yes, cheers to that.
And I did have my mink on. It's a little toasty, though.
All right, Sarah, Carol,
For a mink coat.
She's got the mink and the jewels and the champagne. And then somebody's, it's going to be tough today, people. I'm just saying. All right. Thanks for joining in. We are super excited today to have two guest presenters. I have well, let me just start with Steve Patton, who is one of my dearest and oldest colleagues and friends. I adore Steve, and every time he lands in some yummy resort company, I always like to support that, simply because I just want him to know that he's got a lot of love here in the Southeast, and he is currently working for Auberge in the capacity of Director of Sales or Group Sales Executive for their two properties located in Cabo, the Esperanza Resort, which is one of my longtime favorites, and the brand new Chileno Bay Resort. So Steve, say hi to everybody.
That is correct, Carol. Thank you very much for the invite. Nice to see some familiar faces here. Glad to be here. As I wrote in my bio, I don't know if people saw that, but I worked in Hawaii for 9 years prior to joining Auberge and Cabos. So I like to say that I traded my aloha for hola, even though my Spanish is really, really terrible. So it's a pleasure to be here. And I thank you also to Gale, who is with our global sales team, for inviting me to be a part of the call and to present our two Cabo properties, which we'll get to later.
Thank you. And speaking of Gale, Gale is new to me, and I'm so delighted to tell you that not only is she going to give us an overview of the Auberge collection today, she will be back with us a couple of times this year as we're going to drill down particularly on those hotels that were designated as this year's trending hot places to be. The hot list from Travel and Leisure, Condé Nast Traveler have awarded several Auberge properties this year their designation for 2020 and 2019, and Gail's going to be talking about those later in the year. For today, we wanted to talk, to get an overview of the exclusive properties that Auberge Resorts does own. And we wanted to talk about this specifically because my feeling is that as business starts to come back for group travel, for incentives and small events, that folks are going to feel more comfortable in wide open spaces and in properties where they are the only residents in-house. So we wanted to talk a little bit specifically today about owning your own private luxury resort for your incentive programs. And we will be touching on the pros and cons of that shortly, but let me introduce, and it's my honor to welcome to our family, Gale McClurkan, the Global Director of Sales for Auberge Resorts.
Well, thank you, Carol. And like Carol said, I am new to the Southeast, and you couldn't ask for a more welcoming group of people. And Carol has just taken me into her circle, and I feel very fortunate that she's taken me in and to be here with you today. As Stephen, I've been with Auberge about 9 months. Prior to that, I was with the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, representing the hotels of the Caribbean and Latin America. And when we merged with Starwood, then that included their luxury divisions. So St. Regis, W Hotels, and I took a jump off after 18 years and joined Auberge, and I couldn't be happier. I really wanted to get back to the smaller company, luxury hotels, and just that family feeling that I had when I started. And it feels great to be back in that environment before. I've recognized many of these names from some of my coworkers in the past who've worked the Southeast. So I'm very happy to be here with you today. And I'm going to walk through, so this will be a little bit different than your other calls. I'm going to walk through our portfolio from start to finish, and I'm going to make it just very conversational. I'm not going to talk a lot about square footage, how many rooms we have. I'm going to talk about the feeling of the hotel, some highlights on the hotel to kind of get you to experience like you're there. And then we'll move into a discussion about the buyout opportunities and where we think we really fit this niche in the environment that we're in today. So let me attempt to share the screen and we'll get started. Hang in there with me. Is everybody good? All righty. So just to give you a little background on Auberge. So we are a family-owned small luxury hotel company. And with that said, we are never going to be that hotel company where you'll see Auberge Denver, Auberge Chicago, Auberge New York. We're always going to be in very unique, very special locations. We are our hotels carry their own independence. So you may have stayed at some of our hotels and not even realize that they're in Auberge because they keep their name. So for example, Esperanza, an Auberge resort, Auberge du Soleil, an Auberge resort. We're always going to have them keep their identity. And with that, when you go somewhere, you're always going to experience something different. You're never going to walk in and think, okay, well, the registration's to the right, elevators to the left. You're going to walk in and you're going to have just a sense of place. And we have not strayed from that path. You'll see when I talk about our future openings, we continue to stay on that path. And I think that's what makes it special. And so when you're looking to take these high-end groups somewhere, you want them to be able to experience something and go somewhere where they have not been on their own or that they haven't experienced in the past. And that's what we're trying to bring to you. It all got started right here with Auberge du Soleil. And how we actually got started in the hotel business was the Harmon family built this great restaurant in Napa, and it was just fabulous. And people would come for the evening and they would drink and eat. And the more they drank and they ate, it became a little bit harder to go home. So they were inspired, saying, we ought to build some rooms here so people can really have a good time. So thus they've started adding on hotel rooms to the restaurant. And that's how we initially got our start. And now it really is, if you ask me, the grand dame of Napa. It is the epitome of true luxury. They've just renovated their guest rooms. You're seeing one here. Majority of the guest rooms will have a plunge tub on your terrace. Everybody has a private entry. So when you check in, you can go to the front desk, or they'll take you directly to your room where you have your own private entrance. There's no hallway. When you're on your terrace, you don't see anybody else. It's literally a straightforward view of the beautiful Napa Valley. So you almost feel like you're moving into your own little residence within the hotel. And this is where it all started, at the restaurant, and you see that view. It has 50 guest rooms, and so taking it over is very easy with, I think, the way the sizes of groups are going to go today. And with that said, and with the flexibility that we have, you can take over the restaurant. You can take over any of the outdoor venues. So you're not just walking in saying, which function room am I going to? You have your lay of the land. And if you can see the acreage, plenty of room to spread out, and really just truly where we got our start. And I think where you actually, when people say the word auberge, this is what they go back to. Moving to our second hotel in Napa is Calistoga Ranch. Amazing. If you can look at this picture, that is, when you get there, you just feel like you're engulfed in this beautiful forest at the bottom of the valley, in this canyon, and you're just surrounded by nature. And the beauty of this hotel is, again, everything is a private entry to your guest room or your suite. And this is what you're going to be seeing. They really made it where the suites were just enveloped around the environment. So they didn't want to get rid of the trees. As you can see, you might have a tree coming up directly through your suite. And a funny story about this hotel is, when they saw this land, they're like, we have to have this. It was a trailer park. And it had already been, the laws were passed where it had to stay, the footprint that it was had to stay exactly like that. So we literally had cranes come in and drop these suites right in the exact same place. And so it's going to be like this forever. It's never going to change. You're literally in this complete nature setting. We have a trail on property that leads straight to the Davis Vineyards. So you can hop on a bike, ride up, do your wine tasting. If you drank too much, we can pick you up and ride you back down so you don't have to take the bike back. But it's truly just, they just joined nature. They didn't try to impose the hotel on the area. And when I was there in November, we were having a meeting, and you actually had deer walking up outside of the meeting and just feeding right in front of the meeting room. And we took a break, you go outside and there's a fire going. So just different experiences. And this is showing our wine room. We have a wine cave on property. So if you're really one of those groups that you want to get away, but you're not really comfortable yet going, we can bring the wine into our own wine cave. You can sample any of the best wines in Napa right at our hotel. And our last hotel in Napa is Solage. And this is really, I like to think of this as your modern, trendy take on Napa Valley. And it really is the place where the locals go. So you will see a lot of the locals, hoteliers, people who live there. This is where they come to hang out and to unwind and relax. It's all about the spa experience. It is just incredible. We just increased to 99 guest suites. Again, private entry, but we have a 20,000 square foot spa for 99 guest rooms. So talk about taking over and not having to worry about getting your spa time. Unbelievable. 3 different pools. You have your mineral pool, your geothermal pool, your hot plunge, your cold plunge. It's just, you can go there and not leave all day. And beautiful meeting space that doesn't look like meeting space. It still looks very residential. So you can see the beamed ceilings, the windows, all of their space walks out into open courtyards, terraces. So when you want to have that meeting, but you want to be able to just move out immediately, or not even close the blind, close the curtains and leave it open, this is the perfect addition for Napa. We have our Auberge du Soleil, which is the Grand Dame and very elegant and more formal. We have your rustic cabins, which you have in Calistoga, and then you have your modern take at Solage. So you get the best of all worlds in Napa, and you can just rotate to each if you want to create a different mood. And then we will move up to Colorado. Hotel Jerome, which is in Aspen, which is the first and oldest hotel in Aspen. It's literally, when you walk in, you feel like you're going back to the past. It's a very unique feeling. And you walk in and it's like, I call it eye candy. Everywhere you look, there's something to look at. And you'll find modern mixed with new. There's all kinds of history, little secret doors, little secret carvings that you can take a look at. And what's perfect about this is we are in Aspen in the town, but you have the mountains right at your back door. And this is the courtyard at the hotel where you can walk out from your meeting space, be in the courtyard. You can get on the shuttle, you can go skiing if you want, but you can walk right out the door and be in town. So you've really got the best of both worlds. And I'm telling you, when you get here, it is the place to be. I think if you go and sit at the bar at this hotel, there is no telling who you will see. And nobody cares there. So it's just, people just roam freely and they have that comfort. And it's really a legend in the area. And everyone has this hotel in their heart if you talk to anybody in Aspen. And it's very, it's kind of got a manly feel to it. You very much feel like you're in Colorado and you're in the mountains, and beautiful views, as you can see. And then they like to call this the little sister hotel in Colorado. And this is Madeline. And Madeline is, and Telluride, I think of as for your rugged adventurer, your person who wants to get outdoors and get the most out of Colorado. They want to, leave their jeans and their boots on. They want to walk out the door and grab a drink, or they want to grab their skis, hit the slopes, or ski in, ski out. Again, a very rugged, mountainous look. When you walk in, again, you will have the views of the mountains and also of the courtyards. Now, what's great about this is like your own little village. And we actually own this courtyard right here. It's part of the hotel. So when you stay at the hotel, you can just move out and you're surrounded by the village and you can overtake this whole area. And if your guests want to leave and stroll, there's so much to do that you don't have to worry about it. The gondola is right there if you want to go into town, but with all of the shops and the ski in, ski out, it's really a one-stop shop. And if you've been to Telluride, it is some of the most beautiful land, I think, in the country. It has something for everyone. And staying on the mountain theme, this is one I'm so excited about. This was my last trip before Corona. So if I had to end it with a bang, this was the way to go. But this is Lodge at Blue Sky, and it's outside of Park City, Utah, about 35 minutes from the airport. 46 guest rooms on 3,300 acres. So if you want to talk about having space to spread out, this is the place. If you'll see this mountain on the screen, there's actually little farmhouse, little shacks on two of the mountains that surround us that you can actually take your group up there and do a welcome up there or do a lunch up there. You can have them horseback ride up to the mountain, do your welcome, and then bus them back down. It's just incredible. When I arrived in February, when we made it through the gates, we had to stop like 3 times because herds of elk were walking across the street. It was just incredible. And there's stables on site. High West Distillery is on site. So again, you can get here and never have to leave. We do have a shuttle that goes into Park City to go skiing. We have our own private ski lounge at the bottom of the mountain. So that is an option. But I'm telling you, when I was there, I kind of forgot about skiing. I put on my snowshoes, I went hiking, amazing spa, and didn't want to leave. But this has a very, again, the rugged, mountain look, but with every modern detail you could ever think of. I'm telling you, if you've ever been in a hotel room and you're looking for somewhere to plug in or for another device, they're everywhere. And it's well hidden, so you don't feel like you're surrounded by the technology, but it's there if you need it. Hotel rooms in the main house all have a terrace. When you move down to the lower level, your own personal fire pit. They'll come around and light it in the evening. Just incredible. And again, we do all of our function space has great access to outdoor. So you can be in this meeting, but you still have these wonderful views, walk out, take a break, and get out on the terrace with a fire pit. It's only 46 guest rooms, but to let you know, there's probably over 30,000 square feet of space here. We work a lot with automobile dealers and high-end luxury cars, and they will come do some of their debuts here with the cars, because we have such great space in the backdrop that it's very unheard of for a hotel with this size to have that much space. Another one, so Bishop's Lodge. This is opening in March 2020. Will be complete, the hotel will be complete in October of this year. However, with the coronavirus and with going into the off season, we decided it would be better to keep our employees employed and not have to have skeleton shifts. We decided to wait and open in March, but we will be opening our restaurant in October, so people in town and people visiting can come and take a look. And we're ready to start site inspections now. It actually is an old bishop's home, formerly a bishop's home. So it's on the Preservation Society. So we've had to really take our time and make sure that we keep it in line with the history and with the architecture and keep that beauty of it and what makes it special. And take a look at this. So this is what you're gonna see when you get indoors. This is the main part of the home. So it's very residential. You're going to feel like you've stepped into someone's home, and this amazing, your rich uncle's home who just happens to have a place in Santa Fe. And on site, we have stables. When they were doing the construction, they actually found an underwater like river. And so they started working around that. So we now even have fly fishing on site. So it's another one of those places where you can come here and never have to leave, but knowing that Santa Fe, with everything that it has to offer, is literally minutes away. I believe we're 5 miles from the center of Santa Fe. And again, beautiful, thoughtful guest rooms. It sticks with the style of Santa Fe. We're using local artists. If you'll look at the floors, when you get in, this is all gonna feel like you're at someone's residence in Santa Fe. And again, all private entry. So it's all yours. It's all yours to come in and feel like you're not going to have to intermingle. You don't have to push an elevator button. You're at your own little place. I'm talking about a lot of new hotels. This is another new hotel that is opening June 22nd. And this is the Commodore Perry Estate in Austin, Texas. Now this is incredible because if you've been to Austin lately, you understand how booming Austin is. It's incredible. This is less than 10 minutes from downtown Austin, north of the university, on 10 acres, which is unheard of. And this was actually an old estate for the Commodore Perry. He really wasn't a Commodore. He actually had a boat out on the lake and got a little incident and sunk his boat. And so jokingly, they started calling him the Commodore. And then they actually made him a Commodore. So this was actually his summer home, and this is where he entertained. And as you can see, it's going to have English gardens, tons of opportunities for outdoor events. The main mansion will be where you will have your, this is a shot of it, will be where you do your cocktails, where you do lunch, breakfast and lunch. There's a library off to the right. So it's going to be this is going to be like the center point of the hotel, the social side. And then there will be 5 suites that are the original bedrooms in the home that we've named after each of the members of Commodore Perry's family. And then we built in back the additional guest rooms. It'll have a total of 50. On site was also a pool, a spa. In the evenings, we're going to have live music in the gardens. We're going to be serving cocktails. They're going to have an old record player in the main lobby where they're going to be spinning tunes. So to keep in with that vibe of Austin, you know, the music capital, it's really just going to be a really different, something totally different that Austin doesn't have right now that's right there that close to the city. And this is another sample of the guest room. And just to show you how we're really doing things differently, how we're really trying to make it feel like a home, like you're home away from home. Montalani, and I know they will be coming up soon to be presenting. So this is Manalani, we bought it, we closed it down and put in $200 million worth of renovations. So if you've experienced it before, it has been brought back to the elegance and the reputation that it had before. This is really different for us because this hotel has 333 guest rooms. That is like so uncommon for Auberge, but it was such a unique and special place. And we had so many people talk about the great memories that they had at this hotel that it was great to bring it back to that glory and to bring it back up to that level of elegance and luxury that it once was. And it's just absolutely stunning. You can look at the guest rooms. Every room is going to have an ocean view. And then just what they've done with the space. And there's these type of outlets across the entire property. And what's fantastic about it is we're right on the beach. You can do events right there on our beach. And then all of the water activities, you go straight from our hotel. So you can just run up, grab your snorkel equipment, head down to the beach. If you want to go snorkeling, the boat actually docks just directly on our property. So again, once you're here, Hawaii is beautiful and you're going to see the best part of it, and you can leave or stay as much as you want. I'm going to turn it over to Stephen to talk about our Los Cabos hotels.
Thank you, Gail. Just want to jump right in here with Cabos. This destination has been changing quite a bit over the past few years. It's obviously slowing down a little bit due to what's happening, but Cabo is growing like crazy. Chileno Bay was one of the newer properties that opened. It opened in 2017. And what I'd like to do, just because there is so much new inventory in Los Cabos, is just kind of point out the things that I feel like separate our hotels from the other competition in the destination. And just to sort of go back on the overview of what Gail just provided, I do think that because of the smaller size of our hotels in Los Cabos, that's really going to help us moving forward as groups that we are seeing to start book. I've had 2 new contracts that are actually new business in the past 2, and they are small, and they're wanting to book with us because of the small size of our hotels. Chileno Bay is 120 rooms and villas. It is a single footprint property, so the standard hotel rooms are mixed in with the villa product. So that gives us a great advantage if you have, say, a CEO who wants to travel with his family, and we have then villa product that we can offer to them, or a group with a large number of doubles, we can start dipping into that villa inventory in order to accommodate that. Chileno is also unique in that, I don't know how familiar everyone is with Los Cabos, but in Los Cabos, a lot of the beaches in the destination are not swimmable because of the undertow and the way the coastline is formed. But Chileno actually is one of the few resorts that has a completely safe and swimmable beach, hence the name of the hotel, Chileno Bay. That bay is quite tranquil, and a lot of the groups from other hotels that will go into town and go into the harbor to go out on a snorkel expedition, they will end up in our bay doing their tours or what have you. So you can save yourselves a lot of money by staying at a resort with a swimmable beach. Chileno is also unique in that it has its own private golf course. It is a Tom Fazio designed course and was ranked #2 by Golf Digest in 2019, #2 in Mexico. We are also in the process right now of forging a relationship with some other golf clubs in the area because we've realized that guests often want to play multiple courses while they're there. So that's something we'll be announcing very shortly. We also have one of the largest presidential suites in the entire area. It's 11,000 square feet and 6 bedrooms. It has a rooftop where you can do events. It has its own private pool. It has a private beach. There are quite a few celebrities that have stayed there. And believe it or not, I actually have sold it to some groups. And the groups that are using it, they're tending to use it kind of for multi-purposes. They'll use it for, say, hospitality for the group during the day, but then also have like a VIP reception in the evening. And then you can also house, a couple of your VIPs, some staff. Every guest room within the villa has its own bathroom. So, privacy is not a problem. I think those kind of some of the main differences there with Chileno. As you know, with Los Cabos, the weather there is phenomenal year round, pretty much 330 days of sunshine. So almost all of our space is outdoors. And that which is indoors, you see right here, we have our Chileno Galleria, which opens up completely to the outdoors. So you have that indoor-outdoor feel, which makes it quite nice. Can move on to Esperanza. As you saw with Chileno, the design and decor is very contemporary and modern aesthetic. Esperanza couldn't be more different, and that's the beautiful thing about our portfolio in Cabos. We have two very completely different properties, just 10 minutes apart from each other. Esperanza is traditionally Mexican in its design, and this is, Chileno was 120 rooms. Esperanza is actually a larger footprint, but the villas sit separately from the hotel rooms. So the hotel side of the resort is only 59 guest rooms. So if you're wanting to do a buyout of Esperanza, you can buy just those 59 guest rooms and have a completely private experience, yet have the advantage of having a larger footprint at the resort with more pools. So if you have people in the group, they're taking part of the buyout, but want to get away from their colleagues for a little bit, there's a lot of room to spread out and get away. Some of the advantages of Esperanza, aside from what I just mentioned, we are a private resort. So one of the few in Cabos. In order to be on the property, you do have to have a reservation at the hotel or within the villas. So you don't have a lot of people just milling about, which is kind of nice. The guest rooms on the last shot that Gale just had up there for us, they're amongst the very largest in Los Cabos. They're 925 square feet. So in this day and age of everyone's wanting to social distance and stay away from others, this is a beautiful spot to have breakfast. You can have it brought directly to your room, sit on your terrace. A lot of the terraces have plunge pools as well. A lot of our guests will enjoy dinner in their room too. We'll come in and light the candles and create a really nice romantic setting for guests that desire that. And really, I think, gives you some nice livable space, very residential like many of our other properties as well. And all of our guest rooms are ocean view. We also have, with our event space, again, like Chileno, most of it is outdoors. I sold Hawaii for 9 years, so selling Mexico is completely different for me in that we can do events on our beach and not have to file for a $5,000 permit, which is kind of nice. So we can do fireworks, you can kind of do whatever you want. That's the beauty of going to Mexico, right? It's kind of like whatever goes. But we also have a Forbes 5-star spa on property, which it's nice to have that separate designation from Forbes. The other advantage with Auberge, obviously you've seen that we have 2 properties in Los Cabos. There are reciprocal privileges between the 2. So if you are at Chileno Bay and want to go over to Esperanza and have dinner, that is allowed, even though Esperanza is a private resort. We do run a shuttle service between our 2 hotels in the evening. If you have a guest that prefers to stay at Esperanza because of they like the guest room product better, but they want to go over to the beach at Chileno, we can work with you on that too. So it does kind of create a 2 resorts for 1 concept in the destination, which is very unique. I don't think there are any other hotels in Cabo that offer that. So I'll pass it back to Gale. I think she's going to go to Anguilla next.
And one of my favorite things was when I first joined Auberge is they sent me to Los Cabos for a week. So I spent several nights at each, and I wish I was there right now. That'll be one of the first places I go back when we can travel. And we are gonna finally the beach, so we're going to Maliohana in Anguilla. And if you haven't been to Anguilla, this was my first time actually. I've been all over the Caribbean, but my first time was when I joined Auberge. It is one of the islands that has not been taken on by tourism, or it's not been commercialized. So as much as I love some other destinations, when you drive here, when you're driving from the airport to the hotel, you're not going to see a lot of restaurants, chain restaurants. You're not going to see a lot of chain hotels, and they want it that way. And there's not a lot of hotels. It's very limited. There's lots of condos or private residences. And most of the majority of the island, the hotels are very high end. The cruise ships don't stop here. There's no all-inclusive properties. So it just has that very upscale feel when you get there. You truly feel like you've gone away to a Caribbean island. And I'll have to tell you, the beaches there are some of the most incredible beaches that I've ever seen. And our hotel, as you can see it up on the cliff, looks down across the beach. There's beach access. Just take a little step down here. And then there's another beach on the other side of this photo that is directly in front of our guest rooms. And all but 6 of our guest rooms have an ocean view. And we usually put those 6 will usually be a staff room. Again, once you're here, when I was there, I was trying to think of all these things we were going to do. And then we got there and then nobody wanted to do anything. When you have this water in front of you and this view, you're like, why leave? But just an incredible destination that I did not know a lot about. What I love about it is they kept with the feeling of the islands and the culture of Anguilla. So you'll see the colors, you'll see the lightness, you'll see the colors that bring in the color of the ocean into the resort. Everything is open. So you always feel like you're at the beach, no matter if you're sitting in the dining room or you're sitting at the bar. You're always surrounded by just the beauty of the island and the color of the water. And again, just to show you how different all of our guest rooms are, like I think you're probably getting the picture. This is the guest room in Anguilla. It's very oversized guest rooms, expansive balconies. Some of them even have a balcony, and then you walk down to another terrace. You don't see anybody when you're on your terrace. You're just in your own private little world. The bright and light colors in the room that just make you feel like you're at a Caribbean island. It's multiple restaurants on site, some of the best diving and snorkeling that you could ever imagine. And like I said, when you get here, you really feel like you have arrived at a Caribbean island that no one else has been allowed to go to, and they let you in. And I think that's the way that quite a few celebrities and movie stars stay here, because it does keep that privacy. You know, they're not worried about people coming in on tour buses and coming in and out and going into town to go shopping. It doesn't exist. So they're really able to just relax and be themselves. So as you can tell, we're growing. I wanted to hit on a couple of other recent openings. We have 3 great resorts that we've opened in the Northeast. The Mayflower Inn and Spa in Connecticut, the Vanderbilt in Rhode Island, and the White Bart Inn in Maine. And these again it feels like you're going to a private residence that somebody's letting you stay, anywhere from 30 to 33 guest rooms on expansive properties. The big thing about here is when the weather's nice is with all of the land that we have, go out and you do a big picnic. There are no cookouts, get on your bike and tour the property. It's all about getting there, kicking back, forgetting where you came from, and just being engulfed with all of just nature. And that's really important, especially when you're coming from the Northeast, to be able to get out of those cities. If you've got offices there or people there, this is the perfect place to go and very easy to take over. Another one is the Grace Hotel in Santorini. 20 guest rooms. Look at this amazing view. Very easy to take over. And again, you will own the place. And then Monolani that we talked about that just recently opened. And then future openings. We touched on Bishop's Lodge and Commodore Perry. They're both, Bishop's Lodge is March 20th or 2020, Commodore Perry, June 22nd. And then in the works and currently under construction, we will be adding Cesaros del Corazon in Punta de Nita. It is going to be incredible, 62 guest rooms, the most beautiful beach in the area. We'll be about 10 minutes from where, if you're familiar with the Four Seasons is, we're about 10 minutes from there. Stanley Ranch will add our 4th location in Napa. This is going to be totally different. So you're going to have 4 completely different options in Napa to just experience the beauty of Napa Valley. And again, this one will be 135 guest rooms. It's going to be spread out. So it'll be individual units. So again, no main lobby, you'll be walking in straight to your hotel room. And then finally, Aterio, which we're opening in Riviera Maya, and it'll have 75 guest rooms. And the unique thing about this hotel that I've seen from the renderings is you're going to have floor-to-ceiling windows on both sides. So you can see the sunrise and the sunset, which I thought is brilliant. So just really changing up, the way you look at a guest room and what we're offering is what we're trying to do to keep ourselves different and for them to have their own identity and for you to go somewhere, even though you may have been to several different Auberge brand, hotels. And
Gale might be experiencing some Wi-Fi hitches. Stephen, do you want to sort of take over at this point?
Yeah, both these hotels open in next year, and they are both in C-Vent, so you can actively source them already. Stanley Ranch, I don't believe is in C-Vent yet, but will be probably coming along very shortly. I don't have a ton of details about a lot of pre-opening properties. It's like they kind of keep details hidden, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, we're ready to sell. But we'll certainly keep you posted on spectacular things about Ontario. I've heard about the floor-to-ceiling windows on both sides of the rooms, so you get the sunrise and the sunset view, which is something I've never really heard of in any resort in my 20 years of doing this. And then Susurros del Corazon is kind of a mixed use. There will be some private residence as well in Punta Mita. So we're excited to get into both those locations. I think the next part of the conversation was to be about buyouts. And I saw some questions about those come up in the chat. My experience with buyouts thus far, and feel free, I don't know if you want to jump in and ask questions. I think everyone's lines are unmuted. You're more than welcome to. My experience with buyouts thus far prior to joining Auberge was that, and I worked for 2 other luxury hotel companies in Hawaii. Both were larger hotels, over 200 rooms. Buyouts were very difficult to pull off. A lot of it was because of the huge amount of, or the large number of suites. So if you're buying out all the rooms, you're then having to take on all the suite inventory as well. And as you do that, your rates go up, 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 up. So your buyout rate becomes, $1,500 a night for your entire block. With Auberge and with the small size of the hotels that we have, we're really able to kind of help you keep those costs down. Like Esperanza, for example, I've been hugely successful at booking buyouts there, way more than I anticipated. I mean, I get a lot of leads that come across that they may be 45 rooms, and we quote it as buying 45 rooms and then tell them, hey, if you buy 15 more, you have an exclusive use of the property. So they'll do that. And the rates generally tend to go up maybe like $100 to $150 a night overall. The benefits, I mean, I think are pretty obvious. You get exclusive use of the hotel. There are some exceptions, of course, like at Esperanza, we do have the villa component on the other side of the resort. So we try to keep the main restaurant, which is called Cucina del Mar, open to guests of the villas as well. I think if you were a villa guest and you showed up and said you can't go eat there, you'd probably be disappointed. So we try to be mindful of the guests on the other side of the resort as well. But of course, if you do want to close down the signature restaurant for an evening, you can do that and just pay a rental fee or what have you. So that's worked very well. The first buyout that I had after I joined Auberge 3 years ago was at Chileno Bay. It was a technology company, and they were on their final night of the program, and I was actually on vacation in another part of Mexico. And I got a phone call late at night on a Saturday, and it was from the meeting planner. And I was like, this can't be good. Like, why are they calling me late at night? They were calling because they wanted to repeat. She said, this has been such a huge success that we want to do it again next year. And my prior life as a hotel salesperson, I'd never had a group repeat my hotel twice in a row, especially in the incentive market. So I thought, wow, this is really something. And so we've been really successful with it. And we've also started adding in meal plans. So we've had groups that have opted to not only do the buyout, but also to add in a meal plan. So basically we'll kind of quote you your standard EP room rate and then add on, right now it's about $325 per room per night, per person per night, which then includes 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, 1 dinner, and drinks all day for all the attendees. So that's worked out really well also. And we recently booked, although it did not operate, unfortunately, due to COVID, we booked our first double buyout, which was a pharmaceutical company that had 4 different divisions, European, Asia Pacific, Latin America, and Central America. And they bought both Chileno Bay and Esperanza over the same dates. We're going to house 2 divisions at Esperanza and 2 at Chileno, and then come together for the events in the evening. So that I was really excited about that. It was to operate April 19th through 23rd of this year, but obviously it did not happen because the hotels closed on the 2nd of April due to the coronavirus. So I'm happy to answer any questions about buyouts. I know that our properties outside of Cabo are all very happy to do them as well. Even Hawaii, which is 333 guest rooms, that's by far our largest property. I know they've already operated a successful buyout and they opened in January of this year. In Napa Valley, the hotels are obviously small, like Esperanza, they're 50 rooms. 50 rooms for 2 of them and almost 100 for Solage. So that's very easily done. It's something that has, I think, really differentiated us a lot in the marketplace, that we're willing to do it and that we've done it successfully and it's not cost prohibitive.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that I was shocked about coming from another company. Of course, there were larger hotels, but it was very hard to convince revenue management that you were going to do, you wanted to quote a buyout. So with us being a smaller hotel company, we're kind of very entrepreneurial. So you don't have to go through as much red tape to get something done. If somebody thinks it's a good, you think it's a good idea, you bring it to somebody like, hey, let's try it. So we think we fit in really good right now with what's going on with the buyouts. And I was shocked to find out I've done one, I just did one at Maliohana, and I was expecting these outrageous, you know, food and beverage minimums and spa minimums. And when it came back, I kept reading it and I kept reading it. And I'm like, they don't know, like they don't understand what I'm asking for. I'm going to have to go back. But it was amazing. It was very reasonable. It was not outlandish. They weren't trying to like make up for dollars they think they might get if they were sold out. It was so easy. It literally was just like doing a regular contract, and I was shocked. And so I think this is really a niche in these times that you can do. And on the other hand, if you can't do the buyout, our hotels are so small, pretty good chance that you're going to be the only group in-house anyway. So you're not going to be fighting for that space. I mean, pretty much all of our hotels, if there's one group in the house, that's it. So that's another bonus for us. And we feel like we're just hoping that, you know, we can fill that niche with make people feel more comfortable about getting out there and taking a group somewhere where you have more control. And like Steven said, with his presidential suite, that's 2 stories, 6 bedrooms, you can have, it has the lawn out front, the pool. You can even create your own little buyout of that area. Bishop's Lodge in Santa Fe is going to have a bunkhouse. It is a 12-bedroom bunkhouse. So literally, that's a whole group. You can have a group just there in the bunkhouse and have the whole privacy to yourself. So we'd love to take a look at any opportunities you might have. We would love to work with you. Like I said, I'm new to the Southeast, but I've been around a long time. So hopefully soon when we get our wings again, I can come and see you instead of seeing you on another Zoom call that I'm sure you do quite a bit. But thank you for having us today. And I'll open it up if there's any other questions, or if Carol, I'll turn over to you for a bit and just let me know when you're ready for the big announcements on the prizes.
Well, Gale, we do have a couple of questions here. Evan wants to know, are the properties all open currently? And if not, when do they open?
No, they're not. And it really is not that we're not ready to open. I'm sure you're finding out there's so many different rules and guidelines from place to place that we'll be ready to open. And then we'll find out, well, only people from Rhode Island can go to our hotel. So lots of rules. We will be having our Napa hotels are opening this coming weekend. Blue Sky just opened. Our Colorado hotels will be opening in the next 2 weeks. And then we'll be back Mexico. And then we hope to have the majority of our hotels will be open by July 1st. We'll have some that will open in August, but majority of our hotels will be opened by August.
Los Cabos, we are open. We opened on June the 1st. The destination's opening very slowly, but we were given permission to open. Our 2 hotels were 2 of the first 5 to open. It's a very slow process. So right now, basically the only people in-house are people who own residences there, and a very handful of leisure guests. And we actually have our first It's actually a planning site it starts June 12th, so Friday. So it's very slow, but reservations are open. We are taking them. If you need to get down there for a site or something, we can certainly accommodate.
And that's what's nice with some of the hotels that do have the residential component, like Stevens, is they were able to keep some employees working. They were still servicing them at the restaurant and outlets. So we were lucky in that case. But fingers crossed, we can just keep the ball rolling forward and get our employees back.
Gale, I wanted to know, you will have 4 properties in Napa. Do you have a reciprocal use kind of thing if a group came in to host events offsite at a different property?
Yes, we do. And a lot of times if somebody is staying at Auberge du Soleil and they want to do a wine experience or wine cave experience, they will actually use our sister property in Calistoga, and the same with Solage, because they're all so different. When you go to each, it's like you've completely just gone to another land because they're so different. We do that. They're very flexible with working with each other. It's a little bit trickier when you get to Auberge du Soleil because they are, the 50 guest rooms are the smallest of the hotels, and they run very high occupancy and have a lot of local traffic. That would be the only one that's a little bit tougher to do, but Solage and Calistoga work fabulously together.
All right, thank you for answering that. Does anyone else have a question for Stephen or Gale?
I think Michael asked about the buyout number for Commodore Perry Estate. Do you know that offhand, Gale?
It's 50. We will sell out the entire thing. 50 guest rooms. If you do 45, it would still be considered a buyout because that would just back out the 5 suites that are in the main house.
And then Kara had asked the number of rooms at Bishop's Lodge. I said I thought it was 120, but
104, but that doesn't include the 12-bedroom bunkhouse.
I think that was all I noted.
Is that it? I just really want to say thank you, Carol, for including me, and Whitney for making the presentation and the invitation look fabulous, because I'm low tech. And so I was so thankful to have your help. And thank you guys for welcoming me today. And Stephen and I are always here for you. I think Stephen could probably sell every hotel as well. He's been one of the biggest blessings for taking this job, is having him and his knowledge. So thank you. We have 2 prizes today, and I feel like a lucky girl because I get to give both out.
Gale, just before you start, if I can interject, so that you and Stephen can be chatting amongst yourselves. Kelly unfortunately couldn't be on the call today, gang, and so she has asked that Gale and Stephen select a winner of the 3-night stay in Cabo, as well as a winner for her pair of Maui gems. I see some fabulous outfits. So before Gale and Steve make their selection, if you dressed up and came all in for this presentation, please everybody put your computer on speaker view. And those of you who would like to be considered, please come on and give a 1-minute spiel on why you think you should be the Cabo.
The pressure.
You guys can chat in the chat box together. Okay, who wants to go first? Carol
There's
Nall,
some good ones.
Corinne O'Connor, Chelsea Gilbert, Nicole Luvio. Who wants to say hi? None of them?
Please start.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes. I just wanted to, be inconspicuous with my private jet and my champagne and strawberries. I know that on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, he always used to drink the champagne with strawberries in it. So I wanted to recreate that a little bit. But thank you so much for the presentation. And we love the Auberge properties, and we loved learning about some new ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chelsea. Who else?
I'll go. So hi, everyone. I'm Teresa, and hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. So I went all out with my cape dress and sequins and pearls. And but unfortunately, I think the only true way for me to know how to live the lifestyles of the rich and famous is to visit an Auberge resort. So that's my 10-second pitch on that.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to make Stephen pick the winner.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Don't stop now.
I'll go.
Oh, goodness. Yes, indeed.
So to me, nothing says lifestyles of the rich and famous more than Holly Golightly from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Cabo has always been one of my most favorite places in the world. I have not been there in a very long time. And the timing could be perfect to add on for a honeymoon. So,
Ooh, good. That's good.
So that would be something special for me.
Yeah.
For sure. Congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you.
Who else?
I guess I will go. Hi guys, Kara. Congratulations, Nicole. I'm so excited for you. I just found everything glamorous in my closet, so it was a short distance away for me to be Auberge appropriate. I've been a longtime fan and absolutely love hearing all of these updates, both from an event side and leisure side. So thank you so much. I'm cheersing you with my crystal champagne glass. Thank you so much for joining us.
Carol. Who else? Carol Nall, you still there? Oh, well, there you go. Are you in competition too, Miss Kay?
Unfortunately, my computer just died right in the middle of this. So I'm trying to jump back on. Am I back on?
You are.
I would love to compete. I'm in with all of my English china and I have my great grandmother's antique china chocolate pot and cookie plate behind me and my grandest pearls, but I don't think I compete with the boas and the tiaras.
You look fabulous.
You look lovely, Kay.
30 years.
Kimberly Bean, she got out the diamonds. Where are you, Kimberly?
Hello.
She is.
I think the other ladies are way better, but I got my diamonds, my Lily, my Tiffany's. I've been married a long time, so I've gotten a lot of presents.
Well done.
Carol, can you hear me?
Yes, there she is.
Hey,
All right.
I'm sorry about that.
Complete.
Sorry about that. Yes. So I really enjoyed this presentation. I was really looking forward to this one. I have my dangles, every diamond I own, another fabulous ring. Can you see my make? It's 95 degrees here, but I have this. I love Cabo. I've taken 3 groups there. It's been a while. We have another group that's really, really interested. So this presentation was very informative to me. So again, everybody here just outdoes themselves. So, I mean, I have everything in champagne, but that's all I can do today.
You look fabulous.
Well done, Carol, and you look gorgeous. All right, Gail and Steve, I'm turning this over to you.
Okay, let me sneak a peek at what our little text back and forth.
Okay.
I hate to be, I'm one of those people that don't want anybody to not win. I hate being this person.
I know.
Maybe you should give away 1 trip for every resort, not just mine.
There you go, Gail.
Well,
you did that.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So, for the glasses, the Maui gems are going to Chelsea.
Well done, Chelsea.
Congratulations. The Cabo stay, she tugged at my heart, is going to go to Nicole because I can't turn down anybody who is going to do, who's a bride to be. I couldn't do that. And I am going to throw in one more because it's my first time here and I'm so happy. We are going to do 2 nights comp at the Auberge of your choice. And and the winner for that is, I am going to go with Kara, because I saw her on this call starting at like 15 minutes prior, and she's been wearing that dang fur out in the heat. I don't know
I'm
how
sweating.
long. So I'm doing it too. She gets one as well.
Oh, that is so generous of you guys. And I like this, let everybody show off. I think we're going to keep on doing that. So once again, Gale, we look forward to having you in our family.
Thank you.
Please stay connected on our private Facebook page, and we will see you back again twice more this year with Monolani and then Bishop's Lodge and Blue Sky. So welcome. Stephen, it's a pleasure. Thank you for everything. Your generosity just is so, so wonderful, and we're so grateful to you. So thanks for your partnership over the years. Everybody, Friday, we have our hospitality hangouts. Stephen and Gale, you're welcome to join in. We don't have a guest speaker, so we're just going to chat this Friday. But I thought it might be fun to talk about our personal travel plans for the rest of the year. Where would you like to go? We can kind of play travel agent for each other. Have you been traveling yet? I know Kevin Burns has been traveling and a few others. So we're going to talk with the hoteliers about our desires for travel, when we think we're going to personally start being on the go again, and where we'd like to go. So please be with us. Look, where were you? Too little, too late. Look at you.
I didn't see her.
I didn't see you either, Ann. Did you just go get dressed while we were talking? All right, everybody, don't lose these fancy outfits. Try again next week. We have Nuria Kandel back with us. We are going to celebrate La La Land. So you can come dressed as your favorite movie star of old or new, so vintage or contemporary. We're going to be visiting the Hotel Bel Air and the Beverly Hills Hotel with Nuria Kandel. A celebration of La La Land next Wednesday at 4. See you all there. You can wear the same outfits. I'm going to. So those of you who didn't get anything, try again next week. I think it's in your future.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.